audiences and participants, greetings. My paper, which you already have, focuses on the Great Lakes region and also focuses on intrastate conflict and not interstate conflicts. The three, or you could consider it 4 points that I focus on. One is on prevention of conflict. I've been singing this song that the world, especially development partners, need to invest more in prevention of conflicts. Conflicts don't emerge overnight. It doesn't take weeks, it's months. It doesn't take months, it takes years. And we all get to know that conflict is emerging, the drivers of conflicts are there. But we turn blind eyes to these issues and continue with business as usual. I give my own case, Uganda. Way back in 1987, I did an assessment and warned that conflict was imminent. But it was ignored. And it took 23 years, lots of destructions, lots of sufferings for the war to end. What if prevention had been taken at that point in time? I was listening to some Nigerians some time back who told me about Boko Haram. It didn't emerge overnight. Government was warned, but it was perceived as a small group of bandits that will be dealt with. The war in South Sudan, everybody was excited, went in with development, which is a good thing, but ignored the warning signs that conflict was imminent. Even in Burundi, I can go on and on and on and on. Why do development partners not invest, and when they sense there is potential for conflict, that the drivers of conflict are there, that they give conditionalities for development? I remember I raised an issue about Mali, where the Tuaregs in the north are totally marginalized. They're all same religion, they're all Muslims. And what happens? They turn to weapons. They turn to terrorism. So I want to urge this newly formed commission, which is very important, that we need to invest in prevention as early as possible. I also want to look at some of the drivers of conflicts. Some of them, ethnicity, religion, tribal, like we're seeing in South Sudan, even in Burundi, and other parts of Africa. That one of them is governance issue. I have written a paper. If you look at Africa, AU countries, they're all democracies. But do people still believe in democracy? When elections are rigged, votes are bought, and even after elections, you still have violence break out. Because I'm saying this because at one time, democracy was considered a panacea to conflicts. It was considered to enhance economic development, equitable distribution of development. But this is no longer the case. Should we not start thinking of new ideas, of the kind of democracies we need? A hybrid of Western ideas, but also I think if I look at Somaliland, which seceded from Somalia, where it is the cultural heads and the Western democracy, that there is stability. Or Switzerland. We need some hybrids that can bring confidence of the people on democracy. But I also want to blame the international community because democracy is sometimes imposed. I will take the case of Central African Republic. The country was not ready for elections yet. But because they needed to qualify for aid, because it was given as a condition, they went for elections when infrastructures were not there. You have a generation that have never known about elections. A manifesto was not there, and they had to do it simply to qualify for aid. Is this what we need? Is this what real democracy is? We need to step back and start thinking about some of these issues. The other thing I want to talk about is post-conflict reconstruction, which is extremely important. I'm talking about this in the context of perpetrators and victims. Oftentimes, post-conflict reconstructions come very important, and I support it wholly. But the point is, there's so much excitement after the guns have fallen silent for disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of ex-combatants, and total neglect of victims. Let me give you an example of my own case in northern Uganda, where I was confronted by victims who were in camps, that we were rewarding those who were responsible for the killings, destruction of properties, and the people living in camps. A woman confronted me and said, "Is it because my son has not killed? Consequently, nobody is paying attention to him. He cannot get tuition." So, interventions in post-conflict situations need to consider victims, because if victims perceive it as a reward to perpetrators, then reconciliation does not take place very easily. It has to be balanced. Reparations have to be taken into consideration, and that's very important. My last point, as far as this is concerned, is psychosocial support. The guns fall silent. Development partners, meaning well, the focus is on roads, water, education, health. All those are very important. But we need to consider victims who are very despondent, who are hopeless.